Hi guys, this is SDJRSNF88 speaking. We'll review not only of a new product, but a totally new brand to the 00 scale ready-to-run market. The all-new 7-plank wagon from Oxford Rail. Oxford Rail announced that they were going to join the ready-to-run 00 scale market at the end of 2014 with the announcement of these 7-plank wagons and also the announcement of their first ready-to-run locomotive, the Adams radial tank, which is soon to arrive. Now, for those of you familiar with the Oxford name, Oxford Rail is a part of the Oxford diecast brand, which, of course, make these lovely diecast vehicles in a number of different scales. This here is a 00 scale Field Marshal tractor. I'm a big fan of their diecast tractors, and I sort of took it upon myself to collect all their different colours and different types they produce. This is the Orange Field Marshal here, which is a very lovely model indeed. And it really is great to see that Oxford have now taken the leap with Oxford Rail into making 00 scale rolling stock. Naturally, I got this model at my local model shop, Signals Models of Midsummer Norton, for what I feel is the superb price of £8.30. Now, this price has been set by Oxford. I think it was £8.99, the RRP for these products are. And it really does, when compared to other ready-to-run wagons of this type on the market, really does make for good reading. I mean, other manufacturers that produce sort of wagons similar to this, you may be looking at paying £10 to £12, but for just over £8 here, you get this amazing wagon. So when we look at it in detail, we're really interested to see how it compares. So it really is a good start from Oxford Rail. As can be seen, the packaging is very eye-catching here, with this beautiful sort of British Railways, crimson and cream sort of packaging with lines on there. It really is nice. I look forward to seeing more products from Oxford Rail in the near future. So anyway, without further ado, we'll get out of the outer box and have a closer look at the model inside. Inside the box, we have the standard ice cube packaging, very similar to other manufacturers. Again, it's just a simple, just pull on the tab here and unwrap here, and the wagon is free. And first impressions, it really does look a lovely model indeed. So without further ado, we will get her on the track. Here it is on the track, and I must say, I am very impressed with the model so far. From what I can see, there is a good level of detail, both metal and plastic, which of course we will take a closer look at in a moment. So, all in all, it looks a very good attempt for a first model railway item for Oxford Rail. Taking a look at the first end of the wagon, and we can see Oxford have done a great job in capturing the characteristics of the 7-plank very well, featuring a wealth of both separate and moulded detail, including the rivets, separately fitted coupling hook and turned metal buffers. As can be seen, there is a wealth of rivet detail, some of which have been picked out and highlighted by the black paintwork, which I think really looks great on the bright, vibrant red backing of the wagon. Now, the buffers themselves, I feel, are a work of art. As can be seen, the main buffer frame itself is actually painted black, but the buffer heads are actually the exposed turned metal, and I think are a really lovely feature for a little wagon like this. The model is fitted with a small standard tension lock coupler, which is attached to a NEM pocket, so it's easy for those of you who wish to replace the coupling type. The model features a high level of underframe detail, with the axle boxes and brake rigging very well represented. The model features turned metal wheels, which run very freely in the axle boxes. As can be seen, this type is the spoke type, featuring a white walled edge, which I think suits the red livery of the wagon very well indeed. The body of the wagon has been very well represented, with the supports, brackets and side opening door all very well recreated. The livery application is very well applied to the model, with the branding and numbers all crisp and neatly applied. Like the outside of the wagon interior has been very well captured, featuring the floor hatches and plank detail. It is also finished in this lovely brown livery. One thing I have noticed though, the side doors featured in the previous clip are not featured on the inside, but for those of you planning to add coal loads, this would make no difference. Moving on to the second end of the wagon, and we have the end that would have opened for unloading. Again, the brackets and rivet detail have been very well captured. The buffer detail and coupler are practically the same to as seen on the other end of the wagon. Above the door there is a separately fitted bar with hinges, which is where the door would have hinged open when being unloaded. Of course, on the model this is not operational, but again is a very nice detail for such a little wagon. One thing that is a must for me for ready to run wagons is how smooth they actually roll. Now, unlike a locomotive where I could just simply turn on the controller and do a little test run, I've had to come up with this sort of not very scientific way of testing how smooth these wagons are. So what I've done here is I've got my Pico re-railer, and I'm just going to pick the wagon up here and put it on halfway, and we'll see how far it rolls down the track. So without further ado, let's let go of the wagon and see how it rolls. Wow, now that really is something. I mean, you can see how free running the wagon is there. I mean, it just rolled back a bit, which really does show how free moving it is. Now, I know it wasn't very scientific, but from there where the wagon actually did stop, well, came to a stop before it started rolling back, that is a good nearly 3/4 of a metre away from the re-railing ramp. And again, I only had it about halfway up, which is, you know, really does show how smooth and free running these wagons are. So there you have it, the all-new 7-plank wagon from the all-new Oxford Rail. And what can I say, for a first product, it really is a superb attempt, and they really have pulled it off. And I look forward to seeing many more products from Oxford Rail in the near future. As you know, the Adams Radial is not too far away now, which is Oxford Rail's first ready-to-run locomotive, and I'd be interested to see how that compares to other models on the ready-to-run market. So, on to the all-important scores. Detail. Now that has to be a 10 out of 10, especially for the value for money. As can be seen, there are a few separately fitted details on there, which have been very nicely applied. We've got those beautiful turned metal buffers and that very finely applied brake rigging on the underside. It really is good. As well as the moulded detail, which has been very well represented. Then that brings us on to livery. Now the livery is comparable to pretty much all the other competitors in the model railway market at the moment. I mean, it's very neatly applied, very crisp and very neatly done around all the edges. And so that has to be a 10 out of 10 as well. Which then brings us on to value for money, which I think is a huge selling point for these wagons. I mean, most wagons like this now on the market are between 10 to 12 pounds, and for just over £8, this really is a whole new ball game, a whole new sort of competitor to the market. It really is brilliant to see what you could get for that price, and I really look forward to seeing more wagons like this in the near future. Hopefully there'll be a few BR liveried ones to come, because I do love BR liveried wagons. I mean, especially ones like this. I think this would look very good in a Somerset and Dorset rake in British Rail livery. And again, we also have other wagons that could possibly turn up as well. I mean, it'd be great if they do some tankers, some box vans. Again, they are very open to suggestions, so hopefully we'll see some more mixed types of wagon in the near future as well, and of course as well as locomotives. So it'd be very interesting again to see when the Adams Radial turns up what will follow next. So anyway, I guess that's all for this review, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, apologies for me sounding a bit off here. I've got a bit of a cold, but I've got through it, and I hope you all enjoyed it. So until next time, this has been SDJR Son Livery 88 speaking, and thanks for watching.